like this and keep the expenses way low, do it under building and safety standards. We do not reduce our standards, but we make a lot more money because we keep our expenses low. And I'll share that with you toward the end, how we do that. So now, our total cost, $149,000. We sold this property for $293,000, and we made a huge profit, about $140,000 plus. And someone that I know says, "This is huge! It's huge!" $140,000 is what we walked away with. Would you guys like to make a profit like that? Yeah. What would you do with it? How would that change your life? 140 grand. Find yourself living in a better neighborhood, driving a car that's not smoking and rattling and breaking down like mine was. But what if you didn't make 140? What if you only made half that? $70,000. Could that have an impact on your life? Positive impact? I would hope that you take most of that and reinvest it. But you know what? I was making $36,000 a year at the phone company when I got started in real estate. That's twice as much as I was making. What if you only made that on this deal instead of 140, instead of 70? What if you made 35,000? Would that be a good profit? Yes or no?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know you can do so much better than that. So much better. Once you understand the concept of vacant, distressed, abandoned properties and how to monetize them creatively, you can do so much better than that. But I want to ask you a couple of questions. This deal that I just showed you, was it simple? Yeah, it was simple. Yeah, just put it under contract. Buy it. Rent it out. Make all that money. And then sell it. It did make money, made $140,000, plus the income from the building over a long period of time. A long period of time. The question is, can you do it? What's the answer? Yes. Guys, you know you can do this stuff. And it's not difficult at all. But that's why I have a course to teach you how to do it. Not what we do, but how to do it. We're talking about contracts, and so very important that you understand the power of a good contract like the one that I have. Jeff is going to be my subject now, and I'll tell you what Jeff did here. He used my contract. One of those clauses is up at the top, substitution of collateral. That's just one clause in that contract. I'll give you an idea through the use of it, how you can use it. Jeff found this property on Sycamore, put it under contract. Owner financing. The owner was so happy to get rid of this property, he signed it. He's owner financing the property. Now, he has a lien against the property, but Jeff didn't pull one dime out of his pocket. It was all done through owner financing. And now Jeff is happy, and he's going around finding more deals, and he finds this one over in Palisades. Now, this one, he was going up exactly the same way to get owner financing. And the owner says, nope, 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 nope. No owner financing here. You got to come up with some cash. Ooh. You know what happens most of the time? Have you ever heard an investor say, "Oh, it was a great deal, but we just couldn't put the financing together"? You heard that before? If you haven't yet, you will. And what that indicates is that somebody didn't know what they were doing. Because see, in order to invest in real estate and make lots and lots of money, you don't need to have money. Money's for people who don't have knowledge. If you have knowledge, what do you need money for? It can help, but you don't absolutely have to have money. And so the average investor is gone now because, well, couldn't get the financing, so we had to leave that. No. Here's what Jeff did. And Jeff is one of my coaching students now. I coached him through this. And so what Jeff does, he goes back to the first house that he bought, and he put it under contract that has the contract with substitution of collateral. Now, what that allows him to do is to lift the lien off that first property that he bought and put it on something else, thus rendering this property completely free and clear of all liens. Now he can refinance his property, pull out all the money that he needs, and then continue investing. So when you lift the lien off the property, you put it on something else, does it have to be real estate? And the answer is no, it does not have to be. It can be a boat, it can be a car, it can be a Rolex watch, it can be a fur coat, it can be anything that the owner feels is secure enough or strong enough to secure his interest. And so that's what Jeff did. He lifted the lien off one, put it on the other. Now, Jeff can buy this property. He's not going to let these deals fall in a crack, and I don't want you to either. We do not let deals fall in cracks. We have enough superior knowledge to make these deals happen. Not, well, couldn't get the financing, so we had to leave it. Here are the numbers. Value was $237,500. You paid $121 for the property. Fixed up was $37. Made over $79,000. And the average investor is gone now, turning over stones, beating bushes, trying to find a deal. He had a deal right there, but he didn't know what to do with it. And so that's not going to be your problem, because the contract that I'm talking about has 19 money-making clauses in that contract, and they're all embedded there to make you money. There's a young man that I encountered. I want to tell you this, as new investors, some of you are new, some of you are seasoned. You seasoned investors already know that there's no quitting. There's no giving up. You don't give. There's no quitting in, what's that movie? There's no quitting in baseball. No crying in baseball. There's no quitting in becoming a real estate investor. And this young man from South Africa exemplifies exactly that. I want to play a little video and then I'll come right back.
You won't believe it, but you can talk to someone in space. Sam from Earth, calling space station. Can you hear me? Sam from Earth, can you hear me?
If you want to talk to space, you need a really big antenna, multi-elemented and made of aluminum.
Calling the space station. Can you hear me? This is Sam from Earth calling the space station. Can you hear me?
Sam from Earth. Konnichiwa.
You guys get it? You get it. There is no quitting. If you want to be successful, you just go after it. You latch on to a powerful system. You increase the knowledge that you have, your ability to solve problems, and that's why you're here learning ways to solve problems, and you don't give up. There is no giving up. This young man, I just love him. The contract that I was talking to you about, I want to talk to you a little bit about that now. There are two contracts in your course. One is for you to make copies of, and you get them out there, write them up, get them out there. That's how you're going to buy properties and make money. The other is for your education. That's what we're looking at now. It says standard real estate purchase contract and receipt for deposit. Nothing standard about this contract. Along the left column, you see numbers that are associated with each paragraph there. So let's say you're filling out the paragraphs, and you come to a paragraph that you don't understand. This one says additional financing terms are as follows. Then there's 3 lines. Okay? What you do, and you don't really understand what to put there in those 3 lines, you don't sweat it. Because in the next section is the explanation section. And you just simply flip there, and you look at for the number of the paragraph that you're stuck on. That was number 5. And so here's number 5, and it explains exactly what to do. It says use this area to describe any other financing terms, such as seller to carry a second mortgage, or buyer to purchase property subject to the first mortgage. And so now you're using the contract, and you're using the contract, you're learning the clauses, and these are very, very powerful clauses that are designed to make you money. You're making money while you're learning the contract. And so therefore, you will be in a position to be able to draw up a contract on a napkin after a while. As long as it has all of the correct elements in it, it's a legal and binding contract. We make an awful lot more money by using the contracts properly than just having a realtor write it up and then submit it, and now we're going to make maybe $15,000. No. If you're an investor, you take charge, and you make an awful lot more money than that. So I want you to know that you cannot excuse your way to success. You can do either one or the other. You can either make excuses, or you can make money, one or the other. Guys, we started a little bit late, and I promise to give you as much as I possibly can, as quickly as I can. And so I know that some of you will have to get up and leave. And all I ask you to do is, don't! Oh, you know what? Let me just bring it down here. How many of you think that at the end of my talk, I have a home study course that I'm going to sell you? How many of you think that? Just a few of you, huh? Well, I think most of you think that, and I guarantee you that I'm not going to disappoint you. I guarantee you. Guys, I just want to address this just for a moment. Seriously, very, very seriously now. I've been investing in real estate for over 30 years. And there's absolutely no way that in an hour and a half I can impart to you my 30 years of knowledge in this field. I can't do it. What I can do is to explain to you and show you how what we do to make the money that we make. What we do to make that money. But in order to show you how we do it, I have to put it into a form of a home study course. And that way you can take it home and you can study at your leisure. That's the what to's, the what to do, how we do. And guys, I know you understand that there's a huge, huge difference in knowing what to do and knowing how to do it. Don't you agree? Big, big difference. And that's why we have a home study course, so that you can take it home and learn what to do and how to do it. And so Chad Hazen is a young man who could have made an excuse. He comes to a seminar, and he sits about in the middle section. He was accompanied with someone, an assistant. He heard some things that he liked, and he and his assistant went back to the back table, and they purchased a home study course. I'm about to share with you something that is so profound, because we who have two good eyes, a good brain, two good hands and arms and legs, we make excuses. Chad could have made an excuse, but he did not make an excuse. Chad is blind. Now you're wondering, he's blind. Doesn't he know he can't read a course? Of course he knows it. But you see, he's committed. Remember earlier we were talking about how many of you committed to a change. Chad was committed to a change. And when you are committed, doors open up for you. Pathways illuminate. The right person comes into your life at the right time, bringing the right message. That's what happens when you're committed. So Chad was committed. And he made it happen for himself. He hired someone to read the course to him. Now, they read it in English, but he took notes in Braille. If he was reading too fast, he slowed him down. If he read too slow, he sped him up. If he read a word that he didn't understand, he stopped him. They looked the word, he looked the word up. Chad put it in his notes in Braille. All right, now he's got the knowledge. Now he has to go out and look at properties. He can't, he's blind. He hired someone to be his driver. And he drove him around describing the properties that he was looking at. And so Chad pulled the trigger. He didn't make excuses, he pulled the trigger. The first property that Chad bought, he made himself $14,400 on his first deal. You can see him online now. It took a lot of searching for me to find him. He's very quiet, but he is online. He's a rich man now. He's a wealthy man. Yet he didn't even have eyes to see. Come on, guys, you can't make excuses. I'll get Knuckles on you. Knuckles doesn't like excuse makers. No excuses, guys. We're going to make money instead. Here's a money-saving tip. Promise you, I give you a little idea of how we are able to refurbish our properties and keep our expenses real low, thus making our profits super high. And I'll make another promise to you also. I'm going to tell you some stuff about government programs just before we adjourn, and you're going to want to hear that. So, money-saving tip. Let's say, for instance, we know that if we have a big abandoned property that we found, has a bunch of bathrooms in it and a big kitchen, and so we know that if we put in linoleum on the floor and Formica on the countertops, if we rent it, the tenants are going to tear it up. They love hot irons on soft stuff. If we want to sell it, we're not going to get the money that we would hope to get because linoleum and Formica, come on, nobody likes that stuff. But what we would like to do is put in ceramic tile. Because if we put in ceramic tile, the tenants are having trouble tearing that up. And then if we decide to sell, we can sell for a little more money and we can make more profit. The only problem is that usually ceramic tile is very expensive. It can go $4 to $10, $15 a square foot. Here's what you do, guys. You walk into a tile store and have that beautiful display in the front. $10, $15 a square foot for this tile. You walk right past that. Go to the back, to the storage area. Ask them, hey, have you got any closeouts? And they're going to point you to a great big pile of tile. You go over there and look at that tile and say, hey, this is as nice as that was in the display. Only you're not going to pay $10, $15 a square foot for it. Let's say you need 400 square feet of tile. And so 400 square feet of tile, if we buy the tile on the display at $10 a square foot, We just paid $4,000 for the tile itself. We don't have the backer board, we don't have any of the other stuff that goes along with it. I don't do that. I pay 69 cents a square foot for my closeouts. They're as good a quality and sometimes better quality because I also get porcelain for the same price. Porcelain is the same color all the way throughout. So if you get a chip, you don't even know it. And so I pay less than $300 a square for 400 square feet. You paid over $4,000. I just made $3,700. Now, in one of your courses, in your home study courses, The Insider Secrets of Big Profits, this is where I go into a lot of this stuff where you're able to, using tips like this, save an awful lot of money on every deal that you do. So if you can imagine, maybe the next deal that you do, you use 10 of my ideas. And if you do that, they all make $3,700, you just made an additional $37,000 by using the little tips that I give you in The Insider Secrets of Big Profits. If you know my website, you know that I specialize in taking $10,000, $15,000 deals and kicking them up to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. This is one of the ways that we do it. We also do it with some other stuff that I'll share with you in a little bit. So now you know that we can make lots and lots of money with vacant distressed properties, and we can do it with owner financing. Owner financing, we don't need money, credit, nor job. And we can do it with very little competition. But I want to share with you, now we know about government programs, but this is something a little different. And toward the end, I'm going to give you two different ways to get free money. One from the government and one from these entities right here. We know that we have government programs. We know that we also have corporation grants, foundation grants, agency grants. Most people don't know anything about those. So let's throw away the government grants. And what we did is we put together a nice work. It's called the National Grant Guide. In the National Grant Guide, you will find business assistance programs, venture capital money, all kinds of money, foundation grants, agency grants, corporation grants, healthcare grants, grants for personal needs as well. Now there's phone numbers in here along with contact names. I sat a lady down, she dialed every phone number in here. The numbers that didn't work, we threw them out. The numbers that did work, we kept them in along with the contact names. So this is one way that you can approach corporations, foundations, and agencies and get free money for your vacant, distressed, abandoned property ventures. Just one way, and I'll show you another one in a little bit. So we know that we can get state and federal grants for developing, we can get funds for substantial rehabilitation, multifamily housing in urban renewal areas. We can do all those things. And we can really grow. I mean, you know what, as we use government programs, we're actually getting rich while we help other people at the same time. How many of you don't mind getting rich while you help other people who need your help? That's one of the most noble things that you can do, and you are rewarded so handsomely. Karen Lee, you're looking at one of my coaching students. She started with absolutely nothing. She is a multi-millionaire now. Not just a, she's a multi-millionaire. She found, as you can see, she loves her horses and her livestock. So she went to Sun Valley. How many of you know where Sun Valley is? She went to Sun Valley, California, and she found a vacant, abandoned ranch. She bought it. She moved all of her livestock onto it. Now she makes money there because the movie industry goes in there and they hire her. No, they rent her property, the ranch, and they run their horses along the range. You may have seen a movie that was shot on Karen's ranch. That's Karen Lee. I'm so, so proud of this girl. She brought me a deal. This was the very first deal that she brought me. And